Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another WyattzWorld production, where today I am going to be giving you a list of 10 players who I think are underrated, under the radar, just underappreciated in general by the general population of NFL fans. Now, I do want to say there's gonna be a couple names on here that you guys might go, what? I think he's pretty good. And I applaud you for that because you have common sense. But again, I'm just saying, majority of the population, I don't ever hear giving these guys the credit that I think they deserve. Couple of plugs before we hop into it. Don't forget to use code WyattzWorld on G Fuel, Waggle, or Prize Picks. By using my codes on G Fuel or Waggle, you'll save a discount on any of their products, and by using it at sign up on Prize Picks, you're gonna guarantee yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 entry. Reminder that the NFL seasonal prediction windows are now open. But please remember to play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Okay, so starting off this video with an honorable mention because I know people are going to hate this, but I legitimately, from the bottom of my heart, in the deepest part of my soul, think that Will Levis is an underrated player. I don't think he is that bad. Now, I'm not gonna say he's good, but I think he could be a starter in the league. He just needs fixing, and right now he doesn't have the coach to do it. And he also damn sure ain't gonna have the opportunities either. But now we'll get on to the actual list. So, starting with the first underrated player, I'm gonna give it to Josh Downs. He might be the most swept under the rug receiver in the league right now. He's been on the Colts for the last 2 years, averaging around 70 receptions, 800 yards, and 11 yards per catch. He's a reliable target. He's fantastic at getting separation. In my opinion, Josh Downs is, competing for the wide receiver 1 role on that team. And people are looking at this guy like he's a fucking Josh Palmer or something. Like, come on, give my man some damn respect, especially with the shit show predicament he's been in as a receiver. Moving on to the next player that I think is grossly underrated at this point, we have Mekhi Becton. And this one is an honor to say because this is someone that I have followed so closely since he was drafted, because this guy has always been a freak of nature for his size. He runs a 5'10" 40 and he's 6'7", weighing 370 pounds. Guys that big are not supposed to move that fast. This guy's health was always his biggest problem, and then 2 years ago, finally, we got to see him start 16 games for the Jets, which he was decent, but not as good as he was with Philadelphia, and also when they switched him from tackle to guard. The guy started 15 games this year and he had 2 penalties all season. This man played a role in the best offensive line in the league, won a Super Bowl, dipped out, and now he's going to be on the Chargers alongside Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater. Justin Herbert is literally going to be able to read a chapter of a Harry Potter book before he has to throw the ball. It's going to be doomsday over there. Next player we got is Trayvon Walker. Now, I think slowly more and more people are actually starting to come around to the realization that he is a great player, but not enough yet. I don't hear him talked about enough. I don't see him highlighted enough, and I still think that's because this guy was a #1 overall pick. He had so much weight and expectations when he came into the league. And while I will admit his rookie season was not anywhere near the standards that were expected, it wasn't terrible. He had a few sacks, played in majority of the games, he was present, but just not what he was expected to be. However, over the last 2 seasons, I think we've really gotten to see him step it up, and they've kind of moved him around at different positions too. But the guy's continuing to improve, this year finishing with a career-high 10.5 sacks, a career-high tackle for loss, a career-high tackles, a career-high forced fumbles. Hasn't missed a game since his rookie season. He's a player that people needed to give time, and I think it's really going to pay off for Jacksonville in the end because he's only continuing to get better. Now moving on, we have Christian Benford. Oh yeah, I'm gonna give some love to the Buffalo Bills this video, you bet your ass. Christian Benford was drafted in the 6th round of the 2022 NFL Draft. And not only has he exceeded his expectations, not only has he taken over as the #1 role on the Buffalo Bills defense for corners, but I believe this man's a top 10 cornerback in football, and I don't see him on any of those fucking lists. Dude, he has only missed 3 tackles since 2023. He allows under 1 yard per cover snap. The guy sticks on receivers like glue. Now, he's not one of those corners that's gonna get you, 7-8 interceptions a year, but he is the corner that will almost always break up a play and eliminate the team's top threat at receiver. Now moving on, we have Malik Willis. Oh, wow, weird. Another quarterback that I think is talented that was not good on Tennessee. Funny how that works out. Anyway, Malik Willis was drafted out of Liberty in 2022 with the expectation that he could potentially be the next franchise quarterback. Well, he only got to start 3 games his rookie year, going 1-2, throwing 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and having a completion percentage just above 50. Then he ended up sitting on the bench for a year where he would then get traded to Green Bay, which was last season, where we got to see Jordan Love suffer an injury early on and Malik Willis was given an opportunity to play. Man, this guy started 2 games, and in those games, he completed 40 out of 54 of his passes. Carried a passer rating of 124.7, had 3 touchdowns, 0 interception. Not to mention, he also ran for 130 yards and a touchdown. One of those games, he ran over 70. He is an extremely coachable quarterback who I would not be shocked becomes a trade target towards the deadline or earlier if someone gets hurt. Next underrated player we have is Justice Hill out of Baltimore. Very underrated running back, and he's a very good utility back too. He's not the starter there. You know, you got Derrick Henry. Not gonna play him over that, and previously he was kind of in the mix with J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards when they were both playing pretty well. So Justice Hill has never really gotten opportunities, and I'm not gonna lie, he's not the biggest dude either. I don't think he's all that much bigger than me. But when he gets opportunities, he is so productive. He's quick, he's shifty, he doesn't ever hardly turn over the ball. Got phenomenal hands like I previously mentioned. I mean, this year, with all Derrick Henry did, 16 rushing touchdowns and almost running for 2,000 yards, Justice Hill still ran for 228 and 1 touchdown and caught for 383 and 3 touchdowns. The guy also ran for damn near 5 yards a carry. He is most certainly underrated, underexposed, underappreciated, and I think Justice Hill is going to be a really, really good sleeper fantasy pick this year for either the bigger leagues or the later rounds. Next player we got is Jakobe Meyers, a wide receiver that's always been consistent through an array of quarterbacks, coaches, coordinators, teams. Oh, he's only been on 2 teams, but Jakobe Meyers is a guy that I think belongs in conversations with wide receivers like Jaden Reed or Zay Flowers, Michael Pittman. Like, he's not a bad receiver. He's not a number 3 receiver. He is a very reliable number 2 receiver with the capabilities to switch into a number 1 role if he needs to. Such a hardworking, consistent, for the most part, healthy player. Just had the best season of his career, and I think he's about to have an even better one with one of the better quarterbacks he's ever gotten to play with. Jakobe Meyers is underrated. Next underrated player we have coming out of the Vikings. We're gonna double dip for my favorite teams here, but give me Andrew Van Ginkel. This man deadass was one of the best linebackers in the fucking league this year. I'm not even shitting you. When the Vikings signed Van Ginkel, I didn't think anything of it. I thought, oh great, Rapunzel's gonna come play for us. Brian Flores is getting one of his old players back. I remember this guy making some plays with Miami, being disruptive with Miami, but I don't remember ever really being scared of him by any means. Comes over to the Vikings, starts 17 games, has 2 pick sixes, 1 forced fumble, 11.5 sacks. 18 tackles for a loss, 19 hits on the quarterback. I do give a lot of credit to Brian Flores for morphing him into the monster he turned into, but you always got to give the player the most credit for it, man. Being a linebacker ain't easy. And this guy just came out of the blue and threw down an extremely impressive and effective season. Next player we got that I think is underrated is Frankie Luvu. He was an unsigned free agent by the Jets back in 2018, the same draft that had Sam Darnold and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, the GOATs. Anyway, he never really was a starter for the Jets, but he was able to be effective. He had sacks, he could make tackles, he could force fumbles, but like I said, wasn't a starter. Then he would go to Carolina for a few years where he would solidify himself as a starter. He went from starting 4 games to 14 to 17, where then last year he ended up as a Washington Commander, was healthy and present and started every single game. He would record a forced fumble, an interception, a career high with pass deflection. He had 8 sacks combined for 99 tackles. The guy's a great pass rusher who can excel on the line, and I think has well deserved a title to be one of the most underrated defensive players or all-around players in football right now. And ending today's list, give me Tyler Conklin. And no, that's not Andrew Luck. I thought it too. I had to do like fucking 4 takes. Anyway, Tyler Conklin. I know I've talked about him somewhat recently, but I can't state it enough. He has always been such an underrated tight end. Guy's got hands, man. He's always had a fantastic catch percentage. He is an absolute threat in the end zone if you give him looks. And this year, I think he is absolutely 100% in line for the biggest season of his career, much like Chigoziem Okonkwo. I think these two are very similar players. I was pissed when this guy left the Vikings. I was pissed when he went to the Jets. Finally, I am excited for him because he is on the Chargers with a quarterback who I think has more than proven himself as one of the league's best. I know how people feel about Justin Herbert, but I'm a fan of him. Tyler Conklin's an underrated player. And that is all I got for today's video of me giving you 10 players that I think are underrated, underappreciated, underexposed. If you guys like this video, please show support and feel free again to let me know any players that I left off. This was not supposed to be an exclusive list. With everything I said though, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the day. I'm gonna get this edited so you can watch it on time. Stay safe and I'll see you in the next video.